Welcome to BAF Draft. This is Gary Wilkinson, and with me, as always, is
Matt Zerby.
We're going duo today.
Yeah, just you and me, buddy.
Okay, so today is our special Puca Trade episode that I've been talking about and ranting about. But before we do all that, we're gonna do Pack One, Pick One.
Pack One, Pick One.
So we're in a different setting. I got my computer up on the big screen. So me and him are going to go to the Cube Tutor, which is an awesome site, by the way, for all you BAF guys out there who want to learn to draft better or to see how the cube works or what's in the cube. Get with us on Facebook, and we have our holiday vintage cube, or I think Joseph did that for us, right?
Yeah,
he put up the BAF Draft Vintage Cube on there, so you can actually do simulated drafts of our actual cube.
Yeah, and it's open to anyone, so you just look for is a BAF Draft space vintage, and that's the name of the cube on there.
And you can go on there, have an account, sign in, build yourself, draft do a draft, and then build a deck, save it, and then submit it and get people's feedback on it. It's pretty cool.
I recommend posting comments, like if you're thinking, hey, I'm trying to decide between this and this, or hey, I can't choose between this, post that up there and let some conversation happen.
So it's a great tool, especially for newer players or players who are not familiar with the old stuff. Because there are great players out there who just don't know all these old cards.
The screen right now has up one of Gary's drafts, and it's
laughable. Yeah. It's what? It's horrible?
It's laughable.
It's laughable?
Laughable.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Ready? Draft button. Come on, slow computer. Here we go. Okay, we're waiting for the...
All right, so Pack One, Pick One. This is the Power Vintage Cube. This has all the Power 9 in it. As we talked about last time, my personal preference is to go with Archetype, to pick an Archetype as quickly as possible.
I am, hang on. I'm trying to get this screen to...
Can you just push the down arrow?
No, it doesn't work. It's a Mac. Oh, there we go.
Oh, the down arrow doesn't work?
Okay, so I'm just going to go from the top and go on over. Okay, so first card, Dragon Lord Atarka.
All right, Dragon Lord Atarka is good as a reanimation target. It's probably one of the better newer reanimation targets.
Yeah.
And in a pinch, it's in the green, so it's hard castable. But probably not first pick.
And it's still an 8/8 flying trample for 7, so...
Right.
But it's 2-color, not first pickable for me.
No, see, that's the thing. I think in this one, 2-color is definitely pickable. Because in this, you're not picking based on color. This is the conversation you and I had earlier in the week. You don't want to pick in the vintage cube based on color. Like, you don't want to be like, oh, well, I got to go mono green and then splash another color. No, in this, because there's so much fixing, there's so much land, you could pick the best stuff and go from there. So double color shouldn't be an issue. Colorless should not be an issue more because of that.
Gotcha. Okay, next one is Force Spike. Counter target spell unless its caster pays an additional 1. I'm not a big fan of those type of counter spells. If it's an additional 2 or 4 maybe, but I'm also not picking a Force Spike as Pack One, Pick One.
Definitely not Pack One, Pick One, but I think it's it's one of those cards where if you see it game 1, you can play around it forever. So if you're the guy with the Force Spike, you're gonna make sure that you're countering you want to make sure you're countering the Dragon Lord Atarka when they're on their turn 7. They've used their, oh my word, just imagine the dream if they crack Black Lotus to cast Dragon Lord Atarka.
Oh, and then
you force spike it because they didn't do the 1 extra mana, leave 1 extra mana.
That's a bitch slap. We were playing the tower last night, and Rob did that to me in the cube.
Okay.
I cast Villainous Wealth, and I knew because he was like, how much mana you got open? And he kept on asking me that, so I knew he had Force Spikers, one of those other cards that does one. And I forgot because we got around, the game kind of got crazy a little bit, and I forgot about that.
Oh, no.
And he was like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go ahead and counter that. And I'm like, oh, I should have, because I had Villainous Wealth for 7, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still scary.
Yeah. Okay, so next one, Avalanche Raiders. A haste with an echo cost. It's a 2/2 for 4.
Is it Raiders or Riders?
Riders, sorry. 3 and a red. But when it comes into the battlefield, you destroy target land. I just think that's just a weak card, period. I know it's a 2/2 haste for 4, and you got to pay its echo cost. So basically, if you want to keep it on the board, you're paying 8 for it, and all it does is destroy a land. I mean, I don't know. It's so circumstantial.
No, you're never going to pay its echo cost. I mean, echo cost. You're only paying echo cost if you literally have nothing to do the next turn. which should not be the case.
I mean, if you're trying to get rid of a, what's that one called where all non-basic lands are mountains or some crazy land or something, but I mean, it's just so circumstantial.
It's a good card, though. It's a really good card. It's an amazing card because you get to hit them for 2. It's on 4, for 4 mana, you hit them for 2, you set them back a whole turn of progress. It's a really, really good card. It should not be underestimated why they don't print cards like this. Wow. And its echo cost is a serious thing.
Yeah.
So, I like the card. I'm not going to first pick the card.
No. Bitter Blossom. This is a risky card.
That's a first pick.
That's a first pick
That's
for
a
you?
first pick.
At the beginning, it's basically a tribal enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. You lose 1 life, but you put a 1/1 black fairy flying token into the battlefield.
The reason why I say this is a first pick card is because now you can draft around it. Right? Now you're going to pick up equipment. Now you're going to pick up gear. You're going to pick up things that can take advantage of making 1/1 evasive flyers.
Yeah.
And turn them into a real serious powerhouse.
Yeah.
Then you can also use those 1/1 flyers on defense. Let's say your opponent's about to hit you for 5. Let's say your opponent has the Avalanche Riders, right? So instead of taking 2 damage, I can sacrifice one of my fairies and only take the 1 damage from making a fairy every turn.
And a lot of people get nervous with it because of you lose 1 life. But like you just said, first off, if you're on a timer, sure, but I mean, is it really going to take 19 turns or 18 turns or 10 turns even?
Well, but remember the inverse of it too, right? So the first turn you take a point, your fairy fairy has summoning sickness. The second turn you've taken 2 points of damage, your fairy hits for 1 point. Okay. Mm-hmm. The third, and you've made another fairy. The third turn you've taken 3 points of damage. Now 2 fairies are hitting. So on turn 3 you've taken 3 and you've dealt 3 overall. Mm-hmm. Turn 4 you've taken 4 points of damage. You hit your opponent now with 3 fairies. You've dealt 6 points of damage to your opponent, and you've only taken 4. And from there, the math just continually gets worse and worse for your opponent.
Yeah. Okay. So next one, Garruk Primal Hunter. It's the one that puts a 3/3 beast token in. You draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. And then the ultimate on it is put a 6/6 worm token on the battlefield for each land you control. It's 2 and 3 green. The devotion is really high on this. Mm-hmm. To cast it, for me, that's definitely not a first pick. I don't know. It's easy to kill. You're paying 5 for it's got 3 devotion what do they call that? What are those called when it comes in?
Pips. 3 green pips. Oh, loyalty counters?
Yeah, it's only got 3 loyalty counters when it comes in, so it's not that strong. And then the -3 would kill it automatically just to do the draw card ability. I'm not a big fan of it. I've never successfully used it in. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could be nasty.
The card is scary. The card is very scary.
But I'm not going to first pick it just because of the devotion cost.
No, yeah, I mean, again, devotion cost is not really much of a thing in this because it's not hard to make 3 green. And if you take this, you want it in a green deck. But again, it's not a card. It's not a card. Like if you were in a green deck, it's not a card that you need in a green deck. You'd want it in a green deck, but you don't need it. And that's the thing is, I think especially when you're doing pack 1, pick 1, that's what you need to look at. That's what you want to look at is what's the card that an archetype needs. And I don't think there's an archetype that needs this card.
Turning off the the heater now.
All right, how about Thragtusk for 4 and a green?
Thragtusk. I remember when that was popular in constructed standard.
Yeah.
And I remember when it used to be like $20.
Enters the battlefield, gain 5 life. When Thragtusk leaves the battlefield, doesn't die, just leaves the battlefield. Put a 3/3 beast token into the battlefield. It's a 5/3. That thing is amazing, but it's mid-rangey. Possibly bring it in against red. So it's not a creature. I mean, it's a good creature. It's a solid body. Does everything I want to.
I mean, you basically, unless it's countered or exiled, you have an A6 for 5, and you gain 5 life.
I mean, but the thing is that it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't have trample, gains you 5 life, so it's great against the red decks. Yeah. But it's not a card. I don't want to play this card.
Yeah, no, I've never picked this, and I usually don't play that type of setup in the cube.
Now look
the mid range. Sometimes I do. Like last week, I did.
Look out with Garruk Primal Hunter.
Oh man!
You play Garruk Primal Hunter on turn 5 or turn. You want to accelerate out.
Yeah.
So turn 3, you play Garruk Primal Hunter, plus it up. Then on turn 4, you play Thragtusk, and you minus to draw 5 cards. And Garruk's at 1.
Yeah, you get 5 cards. That's pretty nasty.
That's saucy right there. So yeah, no, it's a nice card.
it's just not first pick for me. I mean, the thing is with the cube, there are so many nice cards.
Right.
Stormbreath Dragon. I'm not a fan of this in the cube, to be honest with you.
We can move on.
Yeah.
Even in a mono red.
And I've been watching a lot of the online. I have been watching the online drafts.
Yeah.
And now before I even watch those, I have not seen that have great success. And the opinion is the same amongst these professionals who drafted as well. So, now this one I kind of like, I guess, just because it reminds me, it's just an older one. But Vampire Nighthawk, it's 1 and 2 black. It's flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, 2/3. I think it's a pretty solid card. I know it's small, but I mean, that's a serious evasion.
I want that in my Bitter Blossom deck.
Yeah, I like that card.
In a deck that I'm running Bitter Blossom,
yeah.
I want that.
That's
like
probably my first pick right now.
But okay, so
over Bitter Blossom, I have had Bitter Blossom backfire on me too much, or I don't know how to use it properly.
Well, I mean, again, we're talking about deck. Because, again, this is Cube. So in Cube, you want to put it into a deck. What deck is Vampire Nighthawk? Pack 1, pick 1, Vampire Nighthawk. What deck are you trying to build around that?
I don't know. I'm just looking at it straight for what it is. If I'm doing black and blue.
That's the mess. That's the problem. So you want to look at it and what is it doing for you? What is the archetype that you want to put that into?
One, I'm getting 2 points of damage in. If I need to, I can use it as a insane defense.
No. I mean, imagine. Close your eyes and imagine your perfect 40 cards, right?
Yeah.
What are the next 4 cards that want that deck in it? That want that like for this card to be phenomenal? What are the next 4 cards that you could picture?
Any of the swords would go great with it.
Right, but why would they not go good with Glitter Blossom?
They would go okay with that. It's just that one cost. To me, the life loss on the Bitter Blossom, I don't know, I haven't been it hasn't worked for me, so that's just why I wouldn't pick it, because I haven't historically had good success with Bitter Blossom.
Okay, so how's this one though for you?
Okay.
You've heard of bread, right? You know how that's the thing, right?
I'm
so here you go for Cube Tutor, right? Here you go, Cube Tutor lesson. Here you go.
Are you gonna do the bread?
Lessons from Zerby, Cube Tutor for bread.
So
right?
To explain to people who don't know what bread is.
So bread is an idea that you want to pick bombs first. So B.
It's an acronym.
Yeah, it's an acronym. Bombs. The R is removal spells. The A is aggressive spells.
Well, you get E. You got E before.
E for evasion. Sorry, E for evasion. A for aggressive spell, and D for duds. That's basically everything else. That's all like filler cards, right? All right. But I think for B needs to go banned cards. That's the new bread for Cube. If the card ever got banned in a format,
then it's
that's
grabbable.
The one that
so
you
Bitter Blossom has been banned?
Bitter Blossom was banned in modern, and it got unbanned.
Okay.
So if a card is banned in a format, that's what you want to look at first. How's that?
Next one, Hunt Master of the Fells. This is 2, a red and a green. Whenever it enters a battlefield or transforms into whatever it transforms into, because I can't see the other side. It's probably a wolf or a werewolf thing.
Oh, when it transformed back into Hunt Master of the Fells.
Yeah, it become... put a 2/2 wolf creature and you gain 2 life at the beginning of your upkeep. If no spells were cast, transform it. I guess it's a 4/4 werewolf after that.
It's a 4/4 trample. When it enters the battlefield, deal 2 damage to a player and 2 damage to a creature.
I don't know. I'm not crazy for some of these flip cards, especially the werewolf ones. So
Hunt Master of the Fells, did you know this? Here you go. Trivia. Okay. Did you know that Hunt Master of the Fells has the most amount of text printed on a Magic card?
Really?
Yeah.
What about that new one we saw? Wait, the back must have a lot on there.
The back does. It says the werewolf, whatever it's called, werewolf of the Fells or whatever the thing is. Yeah, it deals. Yeah. Now the Flipwalkers may have changed that. They may have more text on them. The Flipwalkers might, but at the time, Hunt Master of the Fells had the most amount of text printed on it.
Okay, so next one, Sundering Titan. There's so many possibilities with this card. This to me this works great in a animate deck.
Reanimate, yeah.
Yeah, because you can really screw somebody over. So what this does, it's an 8-cost artifact creature, 8 of any color, and then when it comes into play, choose a land of each basic land type and then destroy those lands. When it leaves play, you do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So you put it in your graveyard, reanimate it. boom, whatever the prominent color the other player is playing or something, destroy all those basic lands.
It's not all of those basic lands. Remember, you're choosing one of each. So when it
No. Like if it's islands, and all islands are gone.
No, that's not how the card works.
How's it work?
No, the way a card works is there are 5 basic land types. There's mountains, forests, plains, swamps, and islands. So when it enters the battlefield, you have to choose one of each of those.
Mm-hmm. Right? Now it says. Now you can go waste though, right? Or
no,
waste,
because waste is.
It doesn't say color. It says basic land type.
Right, but waste does not have a basic land type.
No.
Yeah.
It's just basic land.
It's just a basic land.
Oh, it doesn't say basic land, tack, swamp, basic land, tack, whatever. It just says basic land.
Yeah,
okay.
It just says basic land.
But what I'm saying, it comes into play, choose a land of each basic, and then destroy those lands.
And then destroy those lands. So you choose, hey, I want to choose that island, I want to choose that swamp, I want to choose that mountain, I want to choose that plains, and I want to choose that island, and destroy all of those.
Gotcha. So you have to choose.
Yes, you have to choose.
So it could affect. Yeah, I don't like this card. No. See, I read that wrong.
It's great if you know how dual lands work.
Yeah, because you can.
If you have a say you're running the blue black, right?
You can use 2 of them on one of your dual lands, so you don't screw yourself.
You can choose let's say you have underground sea. You can choose your swamp as the underground sea and your island, and then kill their plains, their mountain, and their forest.
Now, it's also a 7/10, so that's worth noting, I think.
The key is that it also does its effect when it leaves play, too.
Yeah.
So even if it gets bounced or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, so what makes this card great...
Not when it goes in the graveyard, but when it leaves play.
Yeah, when it leaves play.
So you could be, snapping that thing out, Vincer then or something. Or
You can. Yeah. Chances are at that point you're going to start killing your own islands.
Yeah.
But where the card really shines is when you're playing against an opponent like me. I play 4, maybe 5 colors... And it's gonna kill all my dual lands because say I was running with a flooded strand, say, right? You can count not the flooded strand, the underground sea. You can count that as a swamp, and then you can kill one of my islands that's sitting right next to it. So you kill 2 lands with it, and then you don't have to kill one of your own swamps.
Yeah.
So you want to like this is another card I think that you want in like a reanimation strategy. Yeah. Because you can always play it to punish your opponent more than you. Yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself, but you can always hurt your opponent more.
I like it. Chances are it's probably gonna come back around. I don't know. No. You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, I guess because it is not that hard to hard cast.
No, anyone running artifacts is going to take this card.
Is that
mana
one?
Rocks. It shines with mana rocks.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because there's nothing in here blatantly blatant. I know Bitter Blossom is for you, so it's a toss up between Sundering Titan and you've already taught me out of this one. Probably that or Bitter Blossom then I guess. Let's see what the next one is. This is, what is that called?
Ravages of War.
Ravages of War. It's 3 white, destroy all lands. Yep. I hate that card.
Also Armageddon.
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Armageddon is there an Armageddon that does the same thing? Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't remember this in our cube. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's if you're not getting your mana from lands as your main or if you're getting just as equal amount of lands from non-land sources versus land sources, this is a good thing to throw your opponent off big time.
So you can play it on turn 4, right? Where this shines is you can play it in two different types of decks. You can play this in a deck that has a bunch of artifacts already, and then you don't care about because you're just going to kill all the lands, right? Or you play it in a mono white weenie deck, and you play a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, then drop this as your 4-drop. And then your opponent basically can't do anything. They're just screwed. Because they played their first land, second land, third land. Maybe they played an artifact. They're trying to build up to something big.
They may not and probably don't have a creature if they're ramping up.
Yeah, they don't have a creature yet, and they're ramping up to do something big, broken, and disgusting. You drop Ravages of War, and now they can't. There's just no game.
It's a good strategy.
Yep. I'm a fan.
Mirren Crusader. 1 and 2 white. Double strike protection from black and from green, and it's a 2/2. That's a solid creature card, like a filler or whatever. If you're
as a white weenie shining
that's
bastion
huge.
Of white. That's what. Let's say if you sit down to a cube and you're like, I want to play white weenie. I don't really care. I'd probably first pick this. If you're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm play white weenie.
Yeah.
First pick that because that thing is protection from everything that you care about.
Here's another white weenie card. Yeah. Yes. Elspeth Knight Errant. That's 2 and it's 2 and a white. It's put it's a +1. It's Planeswalker +1. Put a 1/1 soldier token on the battlefield, and then another +1. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until the end of turn. And then the -8, you get an emblem, artifact, creatures,
which you'll never be using.
Enchantments and lands you control are indestructible. That's kind of weird.
Why? Yeah.
And it's an 8. It'll take forever to get that.
Well, no, it's like that card. That card has one line of text.
Like you're pretty much gonna win before that even happens.
No. So okay. So let's look at Mirran Crusader. Right.
Yeah.
It's a double striking 2/2.
Oh no, that's where you. That's where you get that
+1
+3.
and
That's
give it
10
+3,
right there, man.
10, and it gets yeah. Elspeth Knights Errant has one line of relevant text.
Because here's the big thing with this double strike.
Yep. So
black is most of your death touches, so you're evading that.
Yeah.
And green is all your big stuff, big chunky blockers. You're evading that.
And also your winnies too.
Yeah.
And it has protection from all the things that you really care about.
I might grab that just to. I think I'll do that Mirran Crusader on this pack.
And
seeing some of the, seeing that there are 2 other whites in here, I don't know. We'll see.
I think you would be good to pick the Mirran Crusader because there will definitely be something coming back around to you. I don't think Ravages of War, especially this with no mana rocks, nobody's going to want Ravages of War.
Yeah, and then that would be a solid strategy to maybe pull off and try.
So back to the Knights Errant.
Okay.
Right? When we're talking about when you'd want to pick this card, you only want to pick this card if you want a Planeswalker that has target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn.
Gotcha.
Right? To pick up a guy. All the other lines of text, if you're getting the card and you're like, hey, maybe I want to make a 1/1. 4 mana make a 1/1 is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And waiting 4 extra turns before you can get the emblem out is also a terrible idea. Like the game should be over by then, one way or another.
Yeah. Hey, next to the last card. Keep in mind, like 90% of these are all rares.
Yep.
So next one, Whisperwood Elemental. Any of you guys have been playing in the last year or two know this card. 3 and a green. It's a creature elemental that's a 4/4 at the beginning of your end step. I'm trying to read this thing. Oh, manifest a top card of your library. This is at the end of. This is your end step, and then so basically whatever you have on top, it's getting manifested into a 2/2. And that one you can flip over, right? That's the one. If it's a creature, you can pay the cost and flip it over.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can sacrifice Whisperwood Elemental until the end of turn. Face up token. What is it? Face up non-token creatures you control gain when this creature dies. Manifest top card of your library.
Right. So basically, it stops board wipes.
Yeah, board
wipe. So if you have
wipe.
a bunch of creatures, you have a bunch of mana elves, and then you have this thing out. It makes a manifest dude, and then your opponent board wipes. You sacrifice this, and then all your elves become 2/2s.
It's definite anti-board wipe. I wouldn't first pick it, but that seems like it'd be fun to do that on the anti-board wipes. Huh?
Well, it's not a card I'd want. Well, because I don't want to be playing board wipes either. So it's not a card. It's not a card I want to play with or against.
Next one's Cure the Crashing Wave. This is the one that until the end of it's a 2 green and a blue, and for +1 until the end of turn, target creature. I think is it target creature an opponent controls? Yeah, can't deal or receive damage, or just deal damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't. It's hard to read it from here.
Just prevents all
damage that would be dealt by it.
Yeah.
And by it. Right. So, it locks something down. It gives it the +1.
It's a permanent your opponent
controls. A permanent. Okay. Yeah. And then the -1 is you draw a card and you can play an additional land.
Right.
This, I don't know. I've used this in Cube before, and I don't like it, so.
Well, it in the colors that it's in, you're casting this. There are better things to be doing on 4, there are better things to be doing on 3, and there are better things to be doing on 2. So let's say your Mana Accelerator out. The problem is that its minus ability is not really, there's way better things.
I keep hitting that. I was trying not to hit the side of that filing cabinet. Yeah. My foot got stuck in there.
There's just way better things to be doing than this on 4 mana. So I don't want to play it either.
Yeah, it doesn't, man, if it was even a 3 or a 4 on the, I can't think of what those are called now.
The loyalty counters?
Yeah, loyalty counters, maybe, because you can get more use out of it. But yeah, I agree with it. I think that's what it is. If it was a 1 and a blue and a green, it would be different.
Well, the problem is the effect is not there's no deck that wants to do its effect.
Yeah. So it's not even. Okay, so mine, I'm going Mirran Crusader. You're going Bitter Blossom, right?
Now, and I do believe That is a tough choice between those are the two. To me, yes, those are the two picks.
And here's another thing: if you grab this Force Spike, are you going to be sending a signal like, "Man, this guy's is going to go into blue," and there's not a lot of? I mean, I don't know. Like, are you locking yourself into blue with that and telling somebody else going down the line that there's no blue open, or should you not even worry about that?
Again, this is not a format where you have to worry about signals. Every single player wants to be playing blue.
Yeah,
blue is the best color because it has the best spells. So taking a Force Spike and
I'm waiting to see who responds to that when they listen to the podcast.
No,
who would disagree with that? I agree with you on that.
Well, there's nobody that can disagree. I mean, there is no card like for every card you name, there's a better blue card, a better card in blue that does a better thing. So taking a Force Spike and passing as the only blue card in here, Cure, the Crashing Wave, will not send your opponent a signal, oh, there must not be any blue. Because Force Spike isn't even that good of a card.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now, this is cool having this little projector type set up here.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you can see what's going on.
All right.
I saved paper. I saved a tree, man.
You saved some kind of tree.
So, this is the Puca Trade episode, so I am a big Puca trader.
Puca trader.
So we'll first let's go into this. What is Puca Trade?
Well, no, there's hold on. That's my role.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Gary. Welcome to the Puca Trade special episode. How are you today?
I'm doing grand.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. First question for you: what is your Puca account address name guy? Avatar name thing.
Oh,
how can we find you on Puca Trade to trade with you?
I can't remember what it is. I want old cards, I think is what it is.
Is it really?
I think it's like I want vintage, or I want old stuff. I think it's what...
I want old stuff? Nice.
Yeah, I want old stuff.
I don't actually remember. You sent me points and I don't remember.
Yeah, I want old stuff. And then yours is...
Death from Massive.
Yeah, okay.
Mine's pretty nerdy. Anyway, okay, so how did you find out about Puca Trade?
I listened to a podcast that you turned me on to. Brainstorm Brewery.
Okay. All right.
I don't listen to that podcast that often anymore. Every once in a while I will. But that one particular one, they had these guys on that were running this website called Puca Trade, this online trading site. And it just, because I've done online trading before and it really intrigued me. So that's how I found out. So I'm not going to go any further until you ask other follow-up questions or you want me to elaborate.
No. That's fine. That's
fine. Okay. So I was very excited about it. I don't remember if you remember when I listened to it. I went on and said, let me do a little experiment. Let me test this out before I tell everybody about it. So I went on, signed on, sent out a few trades, see how it worked, and got a couple of them out of the way. I was like, man, I can see this thing is awesome right here. Like this is how I'm going to home my collection and home my wants and get rid of all my other stuff. And it works so much different than other trading sites. So I'll go into that just so you can get the basics of what Puca Trade is. So there are several online trading sites where you go to joesmomagictrader.com or something or whatever. I'm just making up a name. I don't know if that's a real website. So you go on there and it's usually forums, and then you'll have somebody on there that'll have like a printed list or some kind of attachment of all the cards they have. And then what they want. They'll have their have and want list. And then you go on there and have your have and want list. Well, there's no kind of database or something that links them up. You got to physically go through there and see what you have that they want and what you have. And then you correspond with them and you work out a deal. I'll give you my 2 planeswalkers of this for your fetch land and for this and this. What do you think? Yeah, over the internet handshake. And then you both mail the crap off at the same time. It's... You win some, you lose some on trades, and then you have to worry about bad traders, because sometimes you send that card off and Joe Smo never sent you cards he never intended to, and he goes around to different trade websites and does this until he gets busted and blacklisted, and then he's getting cards. That happens a lot. So you just have to, they have reps, like they did trades, or they'll have references or something like that. So it's just a pain, and then it's very hard. It's a very in-depth process just to do one trade with somebody. So what Puca does is you don't trade somebody a card for a card. You trade points for credit and then credit for cards. So basically when everybody signs on to Puca Trade and opens up your account, you'll get initially, by the time you finalize your account, I think you end up getting about 600 Puca points, which is $6. So every Puca point is equivalent to a penny. So you get $6. Now the pricing on Puca for cards, how they value it, is pretty much based off of, was it TCG player median price?
Yeah,
pretty much right on the money. So everybody kind of starts out with a little bit of money. You can buy a premium account. You'll get like maybe $50 worth of Puca points when you do that. So that kind of like basically puts the initial currency into the economy of Puca, and then everybody's kind of trading from there. And then you can even go in later and just say, I want to add $25 in there. That's kind of how they make their money, is off those premium accounts and people just buying into it.
Okay.
Because right now I don't see otherwise how they do it, because I don't see advertisements or anything.
Right.
So I go on there, and it's like kind of like its own internal database. So I have a halves list on there. So I go on there, and I'll enter in all my cards. They all have to be mint or near mint. And then if it's not, you can negotiate with whoever before you send it. So I put all my cards halves in there, and then I'll put my once in there. Now when I put my halves in there, I can click on to send a card. And when I click on to send a card, it'll just show me like everybody, what they want. Well, I can click this button that kind of syncs it with my collection and matches what people want versus what I have. And I can even narrow it down to certain countries. So I do it to the US only. So I'll click have auto match to US only, and it shows what people want, shows how many Puca points they have, shows what they want off my collection, and then I can click send and claim that send. And I have about 50 seconds to lock that trade in, and then boom, they get it. That's because they have that card on their want list. Now, if I put a card on my want list, let's say I wanted a waist, and they're going for about 30-something cents. And I want a waist, and I have about $1 worth of Puca points. Well, somebody's going to probably send that to me. Or if I put 2 or 3 waist on there, every trade's individual. You can send 5 trades to the same person, save shipping or whatever. But that's kind of how it works. So I take all my commons and uncommons and rares I don't use, put them on Puca Trade, and get rid of them, and save up points, and then buy more expensive stuff or stuff to build my deck with the Puca points that I have. So that's the kind of the basics of it. So now we can go into the nitpicking and specifics. So you want to grill me on some questions?
Yeah, kind of. I did. So, okay, so you said I want to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
So you used to do online trading. You said you did a couple online trades before.
Yeah.
Okay, so how badly did you get burned on online trades?
I only got burned maybe 2 or 3 times, and it was small trades. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's just more of a hassle, because the amount of energy and time you spend just to solidify one trade is just done with a few clicks of a button on Puca Trade.
Right. But you say you did get burned.
Yes, I have got burned on there. And there are so many sites that do the trading. A guy can bounce around, can change his email, you know what I'm saying? And they go by addresses too, but they can have multiple addresses. There's ways you can scam on that. And they have kind of ways around that on Puca Trade. Nothing's 100%, as far as trying to get, with the scamming thing. You're always going to have somebody try to do that. But with Puca, they have cases. Like if you get a card in, let's say you pay $25 for whatever, let's say Dragon Lord Ojitai or whatever. I paid $20. So Ojitai comes in, it's got a scratch on the back of it, or it's frayed on the edge, and it's supposed to be mint near mint. Well, I wouldn't mind if it was something older, or it just depends on the scenario. In that particular scenario, I didn't state that I wanted a slightly played or moderately played card. If I don't state that, then you have to go by the Puca Trade rules, which is mint near mint. So at that point, I can open up a case and say, hey, I'm going to send this back, but I want you to reimburse me my packing and shipping costs, which may be like 12 cents, because here we have free mail. Or I can say, hey, I got this card in this condition. I'm still would like to use it, but I don't want to pay the full price. Can you maybe knock off 40%, reimburse me 40% of that? And you can open up a case. If you don't like the results of what you're doing, you can have a moderator come in, like an administrator come in, and they'll come in and kind of handle the case for you, or kind of help you negotiate it. So I haven't had any issues so far with doing that, because I ship from an APO. It takes so long for stuff to get there to the States. I have cases open all the time on me, like, hey, I ain't got my stuff yet. I haven't got my stuff yet. And I'm like, it takes like forever sometimes.
All right, so I don't know.
Ask me a specific question. I'll give you short answers this time. How about that?
Okay. All right. So what makes trading out here in Afghanistan different than trading out in the States?
The major difference out here is that we have the free mail for mail, for envelopes. So I'm saving, I don't even know what I've been out here 5 years, so I don't even know what postage costs nowadays in the States for a letter. It's like 40-something cents you're saving.
Yeah, it's like 40.
So I can afford to send, it's not a big deal for me to send $1.50 or even a 35-40 cent card, because I don't have to take that shipping cost into account. So that's what makes it great, because I believe I have the advantage, far superior advantage on that over most people trading.
Okay, but what additional requirements are there being out here in Afghanistan? Let's say there's a soldier. We're talking to the soldier who is over in Shindan. I don't even know that's still over.
Okay, gotcha.
Say we're talking to the soldier in Shindan who's like, oh, this Puca Trade thing seems very interesting. Okay, so what does he like? How special is it now that he's over in Shindan and wants to send it home? What does he need to do above and beyond sending mail from point A to point B?
That's a good question. I wasn't expecting that answer or that question, but that's one of those bases I believe that doesn't send out on a normal, like here, mail goes out and comes in all the time on a regular basis. So I can mail something, it gets home, in 7 to 10 days. When I get mail, it comes in 7 to 10 days. So when you're at a place like that where it's kind of isolated, I think I don't know that in that case I put a disclaimer on my Puca, like what do you call that, the little notes about yourself, profile or whatever, stating, hey, I'm overseas, and I put in, I'm in Afghanistan, I'm overseas. When I ship stuff out, there could be a delay. When I receive stuff, there could be a delay.
Oh, okay. So basically, just give a general notification to the other receivers and senders that, hey, this is going to take a little bit longer. Now, do you send a memo to that person?
No, I send so many trades that I don't have time really to do that. True, but I literally send out about 200 trades a month, so that's a lot of... No, I don't really do... The reason why is because where I'm at, if I was in that scenario, maybe I would. Hey, just so you know, this is coming from here. Now, here's another thing. This is kind of I don't want to say a disclaimer, but information to know. When you go set up your account and you put on there where you are located, yes, I'm physically in Afghanistan, but I'm at an APO, so I'm technically in U.S. I put down U.S. The reason being is if I put down Afghanistan on there, and I put my APO address and I put country Afghanistan, when somebody mails me something, they're going to write Afghanistan underneath that thing. Well, when that happens and it goes to the APO, it can't go through APO anymore. It has to go through conventional. When it gets here, it gets rerouted. And sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does. I had mail that came to me. It was delayed by 3 or 4 months because of that. So I went back in and changed it. Because if you write the country underneath on an APO, and they even do AFN commercials about not doing that. So make sure you put USA on there. So people think that it's coming from a US address. When they auto-match the US, that's where it's coming from. But at the same time, people see that address. Most people know what an APO and FPO is. FPO is Fleet Post Office. APO, I think, is Army Post Office. Yeah. So most people know what that is, and they're very supportive and... very, like, oh, okay, I understand. That's cool. Take your time. You know what I mean? So most people aren't jerks about it. And when people call me and say, hey, I haven't got it's been 9 days now, or it's been 2 weeks, I haven't got my deal, I'm very polite. I said, it's coming from an APO address. Usually it takes 7 to 10 days, but lately it's been taking longer, because that's kind of how it's been happening. I get influxes where I may have 50 pieces of mail get there in like 10 days, and then I may have a handful like take 2 months or something for whatever reason. Okay. It's very rare on the 2 month, but sometimes it pushes a month, and it's very frustrating. Like I do kind of feel bad, but most people are understandable. If you say I apologize and you're just very apologetic about it, and if they don't want to deal with you later, they'll just block you. So no, I mean that happens. So. Right. So yeah.
Okay. So as far as actual, okay. So okay, how about this? We'll start this way.
Okay.
Vincer Shaper Savant.
Oh, yeah.
1,700 points. I want one. I have 1,700 points in my Puca account. Okay, so talk me through step by step. I'm in Afghanistan. I've set up my address correctly. I put the APO address, USA, and now I want the card Vincer Shaper Savant.
Okay.
I see the card. I looked it up, and I see, hey, there's 16 people that have the card Vincer Shaper Savant. There's 100 people that want the card Vincer Shaper Savant. But I have the points for it, unlike those people. Okay. So I want that card. Talk me through putting that card in.
First, you're going to go onto your want list, and you're going to add the card to your want list. So that puts you in the pool if anybody chooses to send that card, you're available there. Now, just because 17 people have it doesn't mean that you're going to get that.
Okay, well,
because the reason being is of those 17 people, there could be 8 of those could be in another country and don't want to send to the U.S. They only want to send locally. 8 of them may just choose not to send to you for whatever reason, or they're not active on there, sending cards out. So there's all those variables in there. But when you have it on there, your chances are pretty good on something like that that's going to happen.
Okay, so I typed in Vincer Saber Savant, like you said, right? Type it in the thing.
Yeah.
And now there's 2 different Vincer Saber Savants.
Yeah, put down which one you want.
One is the regular one that actually came out in Future Sight, I think. The Future Sight? And the other one came out in from the box, right? Now, if I just want a Vincer Saber Savant, I don't care which one it is.
Vincer, that's the one that snaps?
Yeah. So
snaps in and out? Yeah, it wouldn't have been Future Sight. It would have been mirrored in around that time.
I just want one of them.
Because that was a standard day. Regardless, okay.
Okay, I want one of them, right?
You just choose which one you want, but then you can go on there and see, when you look it up, like how many are available, how many, it depends on what you're wanting to do. I mean, that's just all personal choice. I want the foil because I'm wanting to collect that, or sometimes the foil's cheaper, so...
Well, okay, so let's the one in the front of the vault only has foil.
Yeah.
The other one doesn't have foil. Yeah. But it only costs, $15.60. So let's say I don't care which one I want. Let's say
you have to specifically put down which one you want.
But let's say I don't care which one I get.
Yeah. Then you want to put in, okay, just so you know on that, there are people who put in their notes, like, please, they'll put their name of their account, like, I don't know, Joe Smo, please read, or whatever, or variants okay. They'll put stuff in there. You can know that because you'll see people with their name of their account on there when it pops up for trades. You'll see people say SP okay, slightly played okay, moderately played okay, because they may only want old stuff. And there are people who don't care what format, like people who want something. I want this. I don't care what version you send me, but they usually put the more expensive one up to give options. It just depends, or maybe the medium one. Okay. So there is that, or somebody can email you and say, hey, I don't have this one, but I have this one. But usually it won't auto match. You know what I'm saying?
As a person who's requesting, so your recommendation for me, I don't care I just need the playable card because I want to put it in my commander deck, right? And I just want something that I can sleeve and be playable, maybe even take it to a tournament.
That's where you're going to want to, if you're into that, and you're going to be doing that often, and even if you're just doing it for that one trade, you can change the name of your profile many times, you know what I mean? So you can just put in parentheses, Gary W, I'm Gary W, parentheses, variants okay.
Okay.
And then because some people just go on there and look for people because I've done this, I've gone on there, SP okay, variants okay, oh hey, let me go through and look and see what I got in here that I may have that it's probably not on Puca Trade because it's not mint, and I may have it for this guy because he's okay with it being slightly played or whatever.
Can I put both?
You can put both, but you can put both on there, but if you have enough money for both, you might get both of them sent to you. If you only had enough money for one,
right,
of either all 3 or whatever, then whoever gets to you first is going to grab it. So that's a strategy as well. Now, I usually have multiple cards on there. Like right now, I'm trying to build the Hate Bears deck. So I currently have about $75 worth of points on there. And then I have about 160 going out. So eventually, I'll have over $200 worth. But most of the cards I want are like $30 and $40. So those occasionally come in. Like Ether Vial, I still haven't had anybody take a hit. I just want Ether Vial,
Right.
So like Horizon Canopy, I'm going to buy yours off of you.
Right.
Just because
my Expedition one.
Freaking awesome deal. So, I'm paying $78, $79 for a regular one that may or may not be mint coming in on Puca, or I can just buy yours for $90 for a little bit more.
But it is an Expedition that we opened live on the podcast.
That's true. That one. Yep.
Back in episode
episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, fill in.
Okay, so I've clicked on the little want button. All right, so now I know that people have this card. Okay, how do I get them to send me that card?
You just have to wait. Because you don't know who has it. They're not going to list who has it, so you can't go out and find that person.
Oh, so I can't message people that have the card and say, hey, send me this card, jerk.
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now it's now we play the waiting game.
Yeah, and that's what I do. Like, mine sits there.
Okay.
And I just wait, I wait, and then eventually I get one or two in. Like, I got Explosive Engineer in and Spellskite. Like, I waited for a while. I had, like, over $100 worth of Puca points in there before somebody decided to send me. And those are the higher end cards, and those are also the cards that are a lot of staples in the modern deck. So there aren't. Well, I say that there are a lot of people who want them because I've gone online. I know, 200 people or 300 people have extra ether vials. It's just, why aren't they giving it to me? I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for a mass giving, to one person who wants 4 and has enough for 4. So just to give you my stats as far as, so I do Puca Trade for myself, I do it for Lunchbox, and I do it for another person. So I call it brokering for them. So
we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get.
I was going to give you my stats.
We'll get over your stats at the bragging time.
Okay.
All right. So now somebody did say they're going to send this card out to me.
Okay.
Boom. Yay. We're in business. Yeah. All right. I finally got it.
It's locked in. It's removed from your want list.
It's removed from my want list, right? And I got a little notification.
Yep.
The little noise sound as they deducted points. Yeah. That
your money going down.
Yeah. So now how can I see, like, what do I do to see that the card?
Well, you're gonna go on. There's a tab where it says cards.
Okay.
And it'll be like sent, sending, receiving, halves, once, all that. So you're gonna go to receiving.
Okay.
That'll show all the cards that are on the way to you. And then one column is going to show what it is, where it's coming from, how much you paid for it. It's going to go shipped or not shipped. It'll have like a ship date on it. It'll have like, I can't remember the exacts on it, but basically it'll say not shipped yet or something. And then when it is shipped, it'll give you the exact date and time when it was shipped. So at that point, you're supposed to ship cards out within like 48 hours. Mm-hmm. That's another disclaimer I put on my profile. Mm-hmm. I tell them I'm overseas, working full time, twice a week is when I mail out, usually on this day and this day. So I don't always mail out within 48 hours. So that's just kind of my disclaimer. So I put that on there. So if anybody, says, oh, okay, he hasn't shipped it out yet. I usually don't have an issue with that. Now, me personally, if somebody hasn't shipped after 4 days, that's when I say, hey man, are you going to ship this or not? Because I've had that happen. I had a Chandra that was supposed to come to me. I paid $10 for it. Hadn't shipped it yet. So I said, hey, you going to ship this? Got no response. Did the admin assistance or whatever on there, and then they canceled the trade, which sucks because I really would have liked that. But at the same time, I wonder if that person realized it was going to go up or something. Hey, and by the way, canceling trades and stuff like that is very easy to do too. So I wonder if that guy is like, oh man, I think this is going to go up. Why did I do this? And then just kind of ignored it or something. He could have also just canceled it and not sent it. I've done that before where I've had a card. Mm-hmm. I pull it out like, oh man, this thing is not near mint. Let me go ahead and just cancel the trade. Now, if you do it within the first like 30 minutes, like if you initiate a trade, I'm going to send Joe Smo this.
We're going to get to all this.
Okay, go ahead.
Be with me here.
Okay, go ahead.
Step at a time. Okay.
Because my head's so full of knowledge and I want to spill it all into you.
I get that, all right? So let me mop this up real fast.
Okay.
All right? Okay, so it's been 3 days now, right? And the card is still in unshipped status.
Okay.
All right? What do I do now?
Well, you can IM the person directly without even opening a case up. You can just click on the name. Hey, I've got this trade with you. Have you shipped it yet? So you don't because sometimes when you open up a case, some people can take that. Oh, he didn't have to open a case up for me. He could have just asked me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you can do either or, whatever way you feel, or you can just click onto open case. Card has not been shipped yet, and just say, hey, just wanting to check and see him real polite. But you don't have to get the admins involved at that point,
right?
And then you just wait and see. So
okay. It's been another 2 days, so we're looking at 5 days now.
Okay.
And still the person hasn't said anything.
Then you can click, I believe it's, I can't think of the name of it now off the top of my head. It's like admin assistant, or not admin assistant. It's like
well, this is an unshipped card.
Yeah.
So would you open a case on an unshipped card, or would you just cancel the trade?
You can't just cancel the trade. You can't cancel the trade. It doesn't work like that.
For it to be canceled?
No, you can request to cancel it
Right.
due to not being shipped, but that case you already open's already open. You can't open two cases at the same time on one thing. So at that point, you would just get assistance from the administrator. I think it's administrator assistance, and then just say, hey, person's not responding, card has not been shipped, and if you just want to cancel at that point, you can go, I want to cancel.
Okay.
So. And then if there's an issue, like if they ship the card off anyways or something, yeah, after you already said that, I've never ran into that problem. You can always just ship it back. And I've even had a guy one time ship me something. It wasn't in the condition that I wanted. I went ahead and sent it back, and I got reimbursed for the envelope fee, like 6 cents or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, all that stuff adds up, and people will be that way with you. So it's just a matter of fact. Don't take it personal kind of thing, you know. I did have one guy send me a oath of the, I can't think what it's called. Oath of the Ancient Wood, I think. And he said it was in slightly played condition. I get it. It's in moderately played condition. Mm-hmm. So we hash it out pretty hardcore on there. Like, I was getting pretty rude with the guy. So I just said, let's just get the administrator in. So we worked out a deal. He gave me like, $3 back or something like that. It was in really bad shape, but it was more for my collection and for eventual cube. So I didn't really care, but don't charge me full price for a heavily played card when it's not that. And you can ask for pictures and stuff like that too. They have attachments on there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like, I had a guy, I sent him a Hootie Mandrels foil, and he opened up a case on it and said it was scuffed and this and that. And I was like, it just seemed weird because I thought it was in mint condition when I sent it. I said, well, do you have pictures? And can I get 60% back is what he said. I said, well, do you have pictures? And then if I feel it's okay, then I'll give you 60%. So it was like a week before I heard anything. So I didn't know if he was scamming me or what. He goes, oh, I forgot about it. He did send me pictures. And it had a little scuffing on the bottom. So I said, okay, whatever,
Yeah, he scuffed it up. He took.
Why would he scuff his own card up to get? I can't see somebody doing it. This doesn't make sense to me for somebody to do that. Okay. And it was like $1, so it didn't bother me.
Okay, so Vince or Saber Savant, it's finally got sent. Person, this actually happened to me though. A person got in a car accident. Apparently, that's why they didn't ship the cards. That's what they claim. Anyway, okay, so. Shout out to the person who shipped me cards that got in a car accident. I hope you feel better. Anyway, so I get my card and boom, there is a scuff mark in it. Okay. I wanted this pristine card that I was gonna put into my trade binder and I was gonna show it off. Here comes the card. Or actually, you know what? Let's back it up real fast. Let's back it up. There's no damage to it. The card comes in. What do I do? The card. I go to the mailbox, mailroom. Mm-hmm. All right, how it is over here. We have mailroom, so it doesn't come to our local address, or maybe it gets dropped off by my first sergeant. He drops it off because that's what the first sergeants do: drop off mail. All right. Yeah. So anyway,
my chief petty officer.
Chief petty officer gives me my envelope. I open my envelope. And, oh, look, it's the Puca Trade card that I've asked for. What do I do now that I have Vince or Saber Savant?
And it looks like an unwiped butthole. Okay.
No. It's fine.
Oh, no. Okay, so you got it and it's good.
I just have the card. I have the card. Looked it over. What do I do?
So it's good?
It's good to go.
Okay, so now you go on to receiving page.
Okay.
And it'll say card received, I believe is what it says. You
okay.
click card received, and it'll say, "Are you sure?" It asks you twice.
Are
you sure? And you say, "Yeah, I'm sure," and click it. Now, keep in mind, if you accidentally click that, and like say you didn't open it up and look at it, and you completed the trade,
right?
And you open it up later and go, "Oh crap, man, this thing's in bad shape." You can actually go back in to your history and open a case on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I learned that I had a few cards come in, and when it looks all cool in the top loader, and then when you open it up, I'm like, man, this thing ain't mint. It's got some scuffing on it. This is definitely slightly played, and I just paid $15 for this card,
mm-hmm.
or 1,500 Puca points. So yeah, you can go back in and open the case. Now I just check everything before it comes in. As a matter of fact, I had a Tectonic Edge come in, and you know how sometimes the back of a card will look like a ballpoint pen kind of wrote on it, but there's no ink on it?
Yeah.
It had that big scoop like that in it, and I took pictures and showed it to the guy because he asked for pictures, and I showed him, and I said, I just asked for like 25. I said, I'm going to use it in the thing all the time anyways. Can I just get 25% back on it since I paid like $3 or $4 for it or whatever it was.
Right.
So, and he was cool with it. So I don't go over the top with my stuff like give me 70% back or whatever.
Oh wow!
Because chances are I'm going to keep it in play anyways. I just trying to save a little here and there.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's the card is good. Okay, so we already talked about what to happen if a dispute happens. We open a case, all this kind of stuff. Okay, all right. So a month goes by, and you know what? I don't need Vince Shaper Savant. I don't need him anymore. So I don't need the card anymore. All right, but I know it's worth some points.
Yeah.
Okay. And now it's time for me to
just so you know, when you got that card in, it's gonna automatically list it on your halves. It'll just have a slash in it, like non-tradable halves, and you can unclick that and permanently add it to there.
Okay. So let's say I've erased my whole Puca account, and now I'm starting over from scratch.
Okay.
All right, so I'm out here again. This is being out here in Afghanistan. So things get a little bit hairy out here, especially sending cards. This is a 1,500 point card, right? So this isn't a cheap card. This is a 1,700 point, 1,700 depending on the condition. Card's going up in value, by the way, since I've been watching. I'm actively waiting for this card.
Okay.
That's why I know. Okay. That's why I'm picking this card. Okay. I want to now ship this card. I want to get rid of this card. I want to get that new that new dragon that just got printed that looks really cool, and it's for 1,700. I want 1,700 points in my account, basically.
Gotcha.
The card hasn't gone up or down in value, so it's still a wash, right?
Okay.
All right. Now, I know there was a pile of people who wanted it. I happen to be lucky enough to get the card. Okay. Walk me through putting, again, my account got erased, and I'm making a new account. So walk me through. I have the Vince Shaper Savant. It's from the Vault edition.
Okay, so you're going to go on to your halves list.
Okay.
And you're going to click, basically right above the halves list, there's a quick add. You can go into the manual search and just look up all the cards, and it'll show pictures of them and what how many people want it, how many people have it, all that kind of stuff. Or you can go to the quick add and just enter in Venture and it'll pop down. Like if you just enter Venture, everything that has the word Venture in it's going to pop down. If you enter the whole name of it, it's going to show every version of it, and you just click on that version, it automatically adds it to it. Okay. So now it's on your have list. So now that's when you go to your I want to send this card and see if somebody wants it. So you're going to go to your send. And you're going to click send. It's going to pop up the send screen. If you were previously logged into your send screen on that same, because I have different accounts I log in and out of, there's an auto match. You click auto match, and if you have that, if you have the country saved, hang on one second here. Yeah. If you have the country saved to U.S. only, which is, let's assume we're doing that, okay? Okay. And I'll go into that a little bit if you want. And you click on the auto match, and then boom, all of a sudden you see 20 names come up wanting your venture. So you just make your choice at that point. Okay, and then so we don't have America only on there. Okay. All right. So how do I know what country that these cards are going to? It's gonna show the flag of the country. Okay. And then if you don't know what that flag is, a little emblem, just hover over it and it'll tell you what country it is. Oh, okay. All right. Now, so for us being out here in Afghanistan, let's say I just want to get rid of the card, right? I don't care what country I'm sending it to. I just want to get rid of the card. Well, there's, yeah, right. Again, what country you send it to matters out here. So. Okay, so let's go into that a little bit. So Vince Shaper Savant, right? 1,700 points. So this is, and the reason why I'm picking this card is because it's over to the $10. At over the $10 on Puca Trade, you're expected to do a tracking. Over $30. Oh, over $30. Yeah, you're expected to do a tracking. Okay, all right. So let's say it's a Vintage Shaper Savant. It's $30. Okay. Water, right? It's $30. Okay. Right. I'm out here in Afghanistan and I want to send it to. At this point, we're sending it to somebody in America. Right? Okay. But I do want to send it with track. What do I need to do to send this card out? Well, one, because even though you're sending it to the U.S., because you're not doing the free mail, you're gonna have to fill out a customs form for it. Okay. You can do several of things. You can do tracking. You can do registered, which I think comes with automatic, like $50 insurance or something like that. One of them comes with automatic insurance. You can do insurance, or you can do just regular tracking. They have a regular tracking set up too. So there's different options. Just talk to your post office, and they'll kind of give you. Me personally, I do certified. Certified? Yeah, for anything over 30. What is the cost of certified? Like, what is the cost for me for certified? When I went to mailed off my Emrakul foil, which is $47. Okay. I did I did registered mail. I think it. Matter of fact, let me pull out my wallet and see if I have that ticket in here. I'll tell you exactly how much it was. Here we go. It cost me $3.45 to send it registered to California.
Now who pays for that? Do I pay for that, or does the person?
No, you incur that cost, because when you receive as well, they're incurring that cost of shipping and all that kind of stuff. That's why that's why you don't see people in the States. Sometimes you see it. You don't see people in the States sending one person a 15-cent card, one person a 50-cent card, because by the time they use their top loader, by the time they do their envelope, by the time they do their shipping, they just lost money sending a card off.
Now, can I send a person a message and be like, "Hey, I don't have $3 to do." Like, could I do that?
You could, I guess. I would if it were me personally, I would ignore you and no, we're good. I'll find somebody else to trade with. You don't have $3 to mail off, then we're already in a bad spot. So, but yeah, that's Lunchbox. I've gotten rid of 2 expeditions for him, and I've gotten rid of Tarmogoyf foil for him. So those are ones I tracked. I actually insured the Tarmogoyf.
Oh, okay, wow.
So I mean, that's a $307 card.
So now, when you get insurance on these cards, do you get insurance on the individual? Like, how do they know that card's worth insurance?
I guess it would be. I don't know how it is doing the. I've never had to file a claim. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how that works, but I'm sure if you go to, I don't know how they determine it, but you go to eBay, you go to Amazon, you go to all these different places, I'm sure the fair market value on that is probably, the medium price on TCG or something like that.
Okay. So now, all right, now the person I want to send it to, because I want my 3,000 points, and now the person turns out to be in Japan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now walk me through what I need to do differently. Going through as a soldier, going through customs. Here,
well, they're not gonna do really, because it's in an envelope. They're just gonna look at it, go, okay, it's an envelope, cool. But you still have to fill out a customs form. I put collectible trading card, gift, whatever the value of it is, on my customs form. Keep in mind, Japan has a different post office than we do. Anytime you mail overseas and you get tracking or insurance, it doesn't guarantee that it's tracked or insured, depending on what country it goes to. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So all the post offices in the world don't link together in one common thing.
Right.
So you're kind of sort of taking a risk. I avoid certain. I used to send overseas, and now I just don't, because there are so many people in the U.S. that want those same cards. I don't bother. Like, now I say that the Emrakul foil sat there for about 6 months before somebody took it.
Right.
And I finally found a U.S. person. Overseas, tons of people wanted them.
Right.
But I just didn't want to take that risk. Now, they're just guidelines for overseas, too. I try to keep... if I am going to send overseas, I try to do landlocked first world countries. Or not landlocked, but land, no islands. Right. Because you're talking extra, longer shipping. So, no third world countries. I don't care how populated it is. I'm not going to, not all of India is third world, but there's a lot of that there. I'm not going to send to Zimbabwe, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to send anywhere in South America. Okay. And the reason being is I went on to some forums where they were talking about Puca Trade and sending and mailing. And South America has a horrible, horrible mailing system. I don't know the specifics of why and what. And I just don't mail there. Based on that. The reason being, too, is I did send about 5 shipments there. Last March or May, I sent one. I got it back about, a month and a half ago? Because it got returned. So that was almost a year. I had stuff just never... I have 1 or 2 of all of South America actually make it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I just avoid that like the plague.
Okay.
And I only receive from the U.S. as well. And I might be more open to receive from other places. Maybe that's my problem right there with the receiving. I think I only have U.S. on there.
Okay, so you can specify where you receive cards from.
Yeah. So I think what I might do is open myself up to certain countries on there, because I might get my ether files a little quicker. So I'll post you on the update on that on the next podcast.
Well, I know that I do not have any restriction on receiving, and I've gotten cards from Canada before.
Canada. I've sent to Canada as well.
Okay. So you do send to Canada.
I have. I have not in the last 6 months. It's U.S. only for sending.
Okay.
Mainly because I don't have a lot of high-end cards now, so it's just not worth me paying. Because at a minimum, even without tracking, if you're sending overseas, besides the U.S., you're going to spend about $2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm sending out my $30 Venture Saver Savant.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to. I'm sending out my $1,700 Venture Saver Savant.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, here's Scott Hibbler. He wants this card.
Yeah.
Who this weird person in America?
Yeah.
He wants the card. All right, so now I see that he wants the card. He matches up. He has the points.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing too. He has the points. I did the auto match thing. All right, so I go click to send. All right, so I found that Scott wants the card. It's only 1,700 points, so I don't need to do registered, all this kind of stuff. So I want to send him the card. Talk me through what I need to do to package the card up, to what I need to write on the envelope to send it out to him. Walk me through the actual physical part let me start over. Walk me through what I need to do, the couple steps I need to do to make sure I get those points from him.
Okay. So you have just claimed you're going to send a card to somebody.
Right, I'm sending the card to somebody.
Okay. So if you go to your sending page,
right,
it'll have you can hover over the name of the person you're sending it to.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be in blue usually.
Right.
And their address will pop up. Unfortunately, there's no real way. You can actually print the page out into take your whole entire list and print it out, and it'll show the address and kind of in a graph. Otherwise, it's kind of weird because you can't just click on it, get their address, copy and paste. I think you can if you went into their profile. They don't. It's a little user friendly at that point. So you got to kind of hover over it. What I do is I'll usually have two computers or a split screen, and I'll have it. Actually two computers because I'll hover over it with the one computer, and then the other computer I type because I do all my letters. I print all my envelopes out. It's just quicker for me. But that's how you do it. It has all that information plus. If you have auto respond or auto sends every time a trade comes or goes, when you get an email, it'll have that on there as well.
Okay. All right. So I go in and I click the send to person, then I click the accept, and now I'm sending it to that person. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now talk me through the packaging of the material. The packaging of the.
So you have now you have let's say you're gonna take an envelope. I get what I can get out here, which is like the legal size envelopes, security envelopes. So they're the Puca standards, like what they expect at a minimum on you to ship stuff. Mm-hmm. They expect you to put it in a top loader, tape it or secure it into the envelope, and that's kind of the minimum or whatever. So what I do, I think they actually say soft sleeve too. So here's what I do. I have a top loader. If people aren't familiar with a top loader, that's like the hard, hard sleeve that you put your nice baseball card in or whatever. It's like thick plastic. Okay. So and then soft sleeve. That's like the sleeves we'd use for drafting with, but they're like usually clear and they call penny sleeves. Okay. So I'll put my card. You can usually easily fit two cards into one top loader. So let's just say I'm sending one card. Okay. I put the card in the top loader. I take the top loader, I turn it upside down with the top edge of it facing down into the top loader. That way there's a closed edge on top. Because I'm going to put a little piece of tape over the top of that top loader to keep that card from falling out. But if that card ever came to the edge, I don't want it to touch that stickiness and get sticky on it. That's why I turn the soft sleeve upside down. Makes sense. Because I've had that happen where people got it and the top of the card got frayed and I had to give money back for it. So I do that on everything now. I can put two cards in and do it that way. If I'm sending more than two cards, I'll usually put a double soft sleeve of a card and tape it to the outside of that top loader. I haven't had any problems with that. I'll put the more valuable ones on the inside. So then I have that. Now, Scotch tape is the best way to go. We don't get Scotch tape out here. So we can't buy it out here unless I order it in bulk or something. It's just kind of not worth it to me to get Scotch tape. So what I do is I have an overabundance of extra 80-mile-an-hour tape or whatever it's called, duct tape basically, high-end duct tape. So I take those, and they're about 2 inches wide or whatever, and I cut those into little strips that are like quarter-inch strips, and then cut those That's how I do it, and it's really sticky. I've only had one complaint where somebody said, "Hey, please don't use this because it's hard to come off." I don't know. I've had cards sitting, that prep to mail out with that on there, and it's not that hard to take off. So I've never had any problems with it. But I use that because it's free. So I'll tape one piece over the top, kind of pinch the top of the top loader so it's, a little more snug. Put one little strip over that. And then I used to take envelopes and fold them up like the, normal tri-fold, the way you would do a letter and stick it into an envelope, and then tape it to that and then put the Puca Trade number on it. I don't do that anymore unless it's a high-end card or something. Or something I'm insuring or something, just so I don't want it sliding around or possibly falling out. I just take 2 strips of tape and tape it to the inside of the envelope. And then just seal it up and good to go. So that's simple. And then I'll usually put the Puca Trade number on the back of the envelope. I don't even write Puca Trade number. I mean, they know if it's coming in, it's a card. What else is that?
Okay.
That's just what I do. When I get them in, sometimes when I get them in, there'll be like a post-it note on it with the Puca Trade numbers on it or whatever. So that's how I ship it out. That's at a minimum. I've gotten cards in that have been like, in a soft sleeve in between 2 pieces of cardboard taped down really good. When I first started sending out, I did that on a couple of them because I ran out of top loaders, and then I started, ordering all my supplies in bulk. So
okay, so being out here, again, the solder and shit.
Yeah.
All right, top loaders are impossible to find. Right?
Yes, you're not going to go down to the local store in Walmart here and go get them. So there is no
even
Walmart.
Envelopes are kind of hard to get.
Yes,
sometimes.
yes.
Okay, so what do you shop like when you order? Like you've mentioned a couple times how you order your stuff. So where do you shop from? Like what are the deals that you found out are good deals, and what are some bad deals that you found out there?
Pretty much. Okay, so let's go with envelopes first. Envelopes. I can go down to the PX and buy like 45 envelopes for $2.25 or $2.50 or something like that. So it works out to be about 5.5 cents an envelope. These are security envelopes. These are nice envelopes. You can go to most USOs and MWRs and places like that. People send care packages, and you can find little envelopes and little things like that. So for the soldiers out there, you got that you can grab here every once in a while. Or if somebody's sending you a care package, have them send that. I haven't looked into buying envelopes in bulk. I'm pretty sure I could probably find some cheap envelopes for bulk and get them sent out here for probably 5 cents a piece or 3 cents a piece or something. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure I can go way less than that because the envelope weighs way less than top loader.
Right.
So that might be something I'll look into just because pennies saved over thousands trades, it could be $20, $30, you know what I mean?
Right.
Now, okay, so that's envelopes. Top loaders. Penny sleeves, I'm sure you can buy them in bulk. I don't know if I'd want to make it a half a penny because you can buy 100 for $1. So next time you order from your site that you order stuff from, or maybe you probably can get some bulk. Those are cheap. They're so cheap. The price you save.
Yeah, but where do you order them from?
I order most of my supplies from Cool Stuff Inc.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm a high level with them, so I get automatic 3% discount on just anything, and then I'm about to move into the 4 to 5% discount on them.
Oh, okay.
So I just get it from there. Now top loaders, you start that's where you lose money if you go to like any place and buy 100 here, 25 there, 25 there. I buy in 1,000 quantity bulk. Now there used to be a site called cheapcardsleeves.com, I think is what it was. That's where we bought ours from when we did our bulk. So they were doing they weren't doing APO and FPO at first.
You say used to, so they're not in business anymore?
Well, no, they're still around. I'll explain. So they weren't doing APO. They didn't have that option on there when you fill it out. So I emailed them, and they started doing it. Because when you bought 1,000 top loaders, then anything I think over $50 or $40 or whatever, it was 1,000 top loaders with free shipping. So it ended up working out to be like 4.5 cents a sleeve because it was like $40-something, 1,000 sleeves, free shipping. So we were doing that. I told them people would be ordering. We started ordering. Then they stopped doing it. So now they only sell in like 100 quantities. And when you equate it to 1,000, it's like $60-$70 or something like that. I think they were losing money on that basically, so they just stopped doing it. Yeah, they caught on to us. So I'm that guy that makes people catch on to things. So then I was like, let me go and look, because Lunchbox went on eBay and bought, like, somebody had a lot of. Some of them were used, some of them were new, and I think he got them for like 4 cents a piece or something like that, or something cheap. So this last one, I went on Amazon, and somebody was selling them. I have them for 5.5 cents a piece, is what my top loaders got. I bought 1,000 of them, and I got those in. So to me, that's pretty good. So just gotta shop around, find the best deal. I maybe next time I go on, there'll be a better deal. Maybe I'll go on eBay and there'll be a better deal. So, but buying in 1,000 quantities seems to be kind of the ticket. So 5.5 cents per top loader, because if you're buying the 25 pack, because I have just a crap ton of 25 packs. So if you're buying the 25 pack on a regular site, you're going to pay like $2 or $3 for that. So, I mean, you're just spending so much extra money. And then now that I have a bunch, then I can use that as trade. It's a trade commodity for somebody who needs top loaders or something. And sometimes I'll just give them out. So, because you receive too, but I send out more than I receive because I get rid of small stuff to get a few big stuff, and then tape, I have that. So, but tape's probably, even if I ordered a little mini case or 10 things of Scotch tape, I'm sure that would last me a long time. So basically, when you equate all that, it costs me, because keep in mind I don't have to pay shipping. Right. It costs me 12.3 cents, and I do the points because they add up. 12.3 cents to ship a single card or multiple cards if it's to the same person.
Okay, so if I'm shipping off a 50 cent card, basically I have to subtract 12.3 cents. Yeah. So I'm only making the 38 cents.
But got to look at what do you call that, opportunity cost or whatever you say.
Right.
The same thing goes when you're sending out stuff. Let's say, for instance, Oblivion Strike.
Okay.
I've gotten rid of 5 Oblivion Strikes this month.
Okay.
So they're like 16, 17 cents a piece or something like that. If I have 2 17-cent cards, that's 34 cents. I mail those out for 34 cents. Subtract, oh gosh. Let's say 34 cents, right?
Right.
Subtract, let's say 12.3.
Yeah.
So you're looking at
about 22 cents.
22 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, right?
Right.
Those are just going to sit in my binder and rot, or I was going to throw them away.
Okay.
Being that I'm over here and I'm not here with my family, I don't have to cook my food. I don't have to do my own laundry. I've got a lot more spare time than most people do, even though we work longer hours than pretty much anybody else in the States does. You still have a lot more downtime. So if I spend, 2 hours, if I spend 4 hours a week or even 3 hours a week prepping up a bunch of stuff in my time, I was just going to sit down and watch TV anyways while I'm watching TV, then I'm just turning all this junk that's sitting in there into other stuff, and I got free shipping. So it's just it's a unique opportunity. When I get to the States, I'm not going to have that same opportunity.
So you can send out those 2 cards. You get 22 cents that goes towards your next big thing that you want.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I do it.
And it doesn't cost you anything because...
Just my time, my personal time.
And it basically comes down to buying the envelopes, buying the top loaders, buying the penny sleeves. The cards you already have from drafting or just from, lying around.
And it's a hobby. I mean, it makes... I mean, I know people... You know how when you do drafts and you just got all this extra just garbage. Like how many boxes have we donated to the USO? Like probably we've donated about 10,000 cards to the USO.
Right.
Yeah, there's a ton of them sitting down there just garbage. Had I known back then that you wouldn't have seen as many go in there. It would have been Puca traded.
But the benefit is that now that the soldiers can go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean that's there, but now I Puca trade, and then when I can't, people go in there that are new players. Cool, they got something they can play around.
Hold on, let's you can do a humble brag here real fast. Okay. That you are doing Puca Trade, yet you did just drop off 5,000 cards to.
Yeah, I was thinking too, because I'm gonna start putting common. I used to not put commons on there, and then I started noticing, like for instance, Oblivion Strike. There are a lot of commons people want, and then if you mix them in with the uncommons. So for now on, I'm probably gonna start putting commons on there and see how they do. If we'll see. If it's a new set that just came out, literally just came out, put everything on there.
But cards have been sitting in your binder for a while.
Then just get rid of them.
Yeah. And there's going to be soldiers
that want them.
Yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
I'm more than happy to take them. So, I mean, I remember when I first started collecting, I'll take all your cards, man. I'm like, okay, here you go, buddy. It's just, after a while, you just, like, I don't need this many cards, you know?
Right.
So I set collect now, so I'm a one of, and then whatever my decks I'm building at the time, so I'm working on a modern one. That's pretty expensive, but I'm turning all my extra stuff into that, so.
Okay.
And it's about 30% done now.
Oh, let's talk numbers.
Okay, so.
What is your Puca numbers?
Okay, I did a little calculation.
Okay.
Now, this is counting this is my account plus 2 others. One of them just started doing it for her, so she's still new at it. The other one, he's on the same level. He had some high-end cards. That's Lunchbox, you know.
Right.
So,
okay.
So I have sent all 3 combined. I've sent 2,064 cards out.
Okay.
For a total value of $3,000.07 or $3,007.32 worth of Puca value.
Wow.
And now here's what has come in combined, just me and Lunchbox, because the other person hasn't received anything yet. Me and Lunchbox have received 279 cards.
Okay.
Huge difference, right?
Right.
With a value of $2,601.17.
Well, because I know Lunchbox was showing around his revised dual lands.
Yeah, so yes, he has a bunch of dual lands. So now here's the thing: now you see a $400 gap in there. A lot of that is because I have about $70-something already in my account, about $100 going out. Lunchbox has almost $300 worth, pretty much sitting there. So there's that gaps there. Mm-hmm. Also, because I have the silver account, like if you have a card and I have 100 Puca points and I want a $100 card from you, I can just give you $100 worth of Puca points. You can give me that card. I can kind of trade with you locally, one-on-one with points like that instead of having a mono match. Yeah. So, but we turned $2,064 worth of stuff we weren't using, or some of it was premium, into
cards you weren't using.
Yeah, $279 worth of cards we wanted, which are obviously high end. On average, at least about $9 to $10 a piece. Cards. So consolidated my collection into something later I could probably sell for quicker or whatever. So that's what Lunchbox did. He turned all his small stuff into legacy staples. So, or vintage staples and legacy staples. So
right.
So so that's kind of, and I'll just keep on rolling with it. So
there you go.
I'm happy with that. Now I had a question come up to me. One of the guys on Facebook said this, and I think it's a pretty good question: is how will Puca have an impact on my local store? I don't know. Here's the thing, like me personally.
Do you run a local store?
I do not run a local store.
Run a local store.
No, but I will tell you this: when I go home, if a store has singles that are easy to access, if they have a system where it's easy, hey, I need these and I can get them real quick, and I need them on the spot, I'm probably going to do that, because I don't have to wait 3 days, or I'm still going to do that if it's small value stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Stores don't really sell a whole lot of singles to start with unless they're those online stores. I think they're going to get a lot of their money with most stores, that do Magic cards aren't just selling Magic cards, they're selling a ton of other stuff. They don't get a lot of their profit off of Magic cards, selling singles. I haven't seen that. Maybe there's...
see, I was the opposite. I heard that that's the number one way.
Is
by selling.
When I was in South Carolina, or like in Charleston, the store there, Green Dragon, I didn't see a lot of people buying singles. Now, me personally, I would go in there and buy some every once in a while, but they made sales. They made most of their sales from the guys buying snacks when they would have.
Now we actually do have a guy that's in our group, our BAF Draft group, that actually does run a store.
He runs a store, or used to run a store?
I thought he runs a store. I thought he owns a store.
No. In our BAF Draft group online. Yeah. He's not here, but he's one of the.
Now I'd love to get his feedback if he would write something up, or maybe we could even get a special segment. Call him up. We could get him on
find out because he would definitely have a strong opinion on that.
Yeah, if Puca Trade is helpful or harmful.
Yeah,
I imagine. Here's my guess.
Okay.
Ready? Here's my guess. I would guess for a local gaming store, if they utilized Puca Trade and if they initiated and actually got onto the Puca Trade community, it'd be a good thing. They could take their cards that they get, that are sitting on a shelf, and turn those and liquidate those and turn those into cards that actually sell for money.
I have sent
cash.
and received many cards from stores.
Right.
There
Now,
are stores that do Puca Trade.
Stores that don't want to get into Puca Trade. Stores that all they do is buy from, people at, 25% of the value of the card and then turn around and sell it for Star City Games price. I imagine those are people who don't like Puca Trade.
Well,
because now they're losing money because when somebody can go and get a card and have it 3 days later shipped to them and all they did is send off a card, all they want to do is trade.
How cool would it be though for an owner who has a huge amount of cards? It takes a while to set it up when it initially happens, entering everything in. But you go put your database on there, and you have a bunch of little $5 and $3 cards that nobody's wanting to buy. But on Puca Trade, you can get rid of them and start getting your dual lands in and sell them at your shop, or getting your Force of Wills in and sell them at your shop.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Somebody who's a local gaming store that wants to embrace Puca Trade, I think will do a lot better than a local gaming store who they don't want to put forth the time and effort. Or maybe they just don't have employees that can put forth the time and effort. Maybe they can't themselves. So it's definitely something I would love to hear from an actual local gaming store's perspective, somebody who runs it out there.
And that's Ryan and Zach's store guy. As a matter of fact, I just made an order from him.
Oh, okay.
Ordered like a bunch of mats. Basically, I ordered mats, sleeves. Like, basically, my idea is for new guys coming in or new people joining our group, period, whether they've played or not, just once we know they're kind of committed to our group, giving them a play mat, giving them a deck box, giving them 100 sleeves. Hey, here you go. Kind of welcome to the group. Yeah. So I ordered like 5 of those from him, and he's sending like extra stuff too. Like I think he's got some promos, which would be great for prize support.
Nice.
Extra deck, like used deck boxes. I think some extra mats he had that were left there, like kind of lost and found that just nobody's claimed or anything.
Okay.
So I think he was going to send us some stuff like that. So it just adds more to it. So then I'm just going to make up little packages to send out.
For anyone out there that does want to send things out because we are attached to the USO here, you can actually be resending the stuff. While you can send it to us, it can go to the USO. You can get it as a tax write-off.
Yes.
They'll send you a little receipt thing, and there's a receipt form, and it can all be done electronically. And you can actually write it off on your taxes.
Yep. So anything else?
I think we've about covered everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll see how long this is. I don't know if I'm going to split this up into 2 or make it a 1.
Yeah. I don't believe that there are any questions that anyone can have about Puca Trade.
Okay. If you have questions, just obviously our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/groups/BAFDraft.
Yep.
I'm on there. If you're already listening to this, you're probably already part of our group anyways.
Yeah.
So you can just IM me. I can meet with you one-on-one if you're here in BAF. Go over it with you. I love talking about it. Because I've seen people make some of the real common mistakes, in the beginning. Not quite sure about certain stuff, and I'm sure we might not have covered every little minute detail. So, but yeah, if you're not on Facebook, on our group, there's our group thing, and also we have.
You can follow us on Twitter at the _BAF Draft. We have a Twitter handle. We post basically a lot of it is just me trolling around amongst the Twitter groups and retweeting or posting about meeting, when we play and all that kind of stuff. So, once again, we meet on Tuesdays and Saturdays at the USO, the Warrior Side USO, and we've started a Sunday commander group. We're gonna start an actual community like a league, a commander league. So for points. Outside of just the games, points that are going to go on.
Is there going to be prize support or anything, or maybe?
No, just for bragging. Bragging rights at first.
Okay.
And maybe we'll use some of the stuff as some of the prizes that the store is sending.
Bringing that up, and I don't know, hopefully we'll get to this point one day. We used to have a tier system and prize support system. This is back when we had 12 to 16 people on average showing up, and we had 2 tiers. Like the players that weren't experienced, and then you have the tier 1, the experienced players, and it was a pretty cool setup, and hopefully we get to do it again. But thank you, Zach Ballard, for coordinating our pre-release.
Yep.
event. So we're going to get to do sort of, not really on, late pre-release, obviously, but pretty close to it. So we're getting pre-release packages from the local store. I think he's got extras coming in, so we're very excited about that. I think we did it for Origins one time, but it was like well after the fact.
Yeah, and we did it for Dragons.
Yeah, and then I'll be ordering a case of Shadows pretty soon.
Yep.
So we can just kind of hopefully after that just start rolling into.
Probably after this podcast, we can probably look up,
Oh, I found some pretty good prices. I think I can get it to where it's 0.83 packs per person.
0.83?
Yeah.
Packs per person?
Price per support per person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found some for $5.60 with shipping. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's good.
Cool.
But hey, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll be talking about spoilers. Yes, because
don't spoil what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna spoil what we're talking about next week. I love spoiler season. It's like Christmas for Magic players.
Yep. All right. You guys have a good week.